high above the clouds, where the winds whispered lullabies and stars seemed close enough to touch, floated a palace made of moonstone and white crystal. Perched on the cliffs of a hidden realm called Aurelia, it shimmered in the light of both sun and moon. No map could find it. No ordinary eyes could see it. This was the Princess Academy, a secret school for royal girls born with extraordinary gifts. The academy wasn't merely for etiquette and embroidery, though there were classes for that too. It was a sanctuary of ancient knowledge, powerful magic, and dangerous secrets. The students were princesses from hidden bloodlines, each one chosen not for their title, but for the potential in their heart. And this year, the academy had a new student, Princess Elara of Drelune. Elara was no ordinary princess. She had unruly raven-black curls and eyes like thunderclouds before a storm. She never cared for tiaras or gowns, and often wandered barefoot through her castle gardens, nose deep in ancient scrolls. Her mother fretted over her wild nature, but her father, the philosopher king, whispered tales of a world beyond the veil of reality. So when a golden envelope arrived one morning, delivered by a silver hawk with violet eyes, Elara wasn't surprised. On the parchment, in curling ink that shimmered with starlight, was written, "To Her Royal Highness, Princess Elara of Drelune, you are summoned to the Princess Academy. Pack lightly." The journey begins at twilight. The hawk cawed once and vanished into mist. That night, Elara stood in her tower with a satchel on her back. A portal swirled open in her mirror, and she stepped through without a moment's hesitation. The academy was more breathtaking than any tale she'd ever read. Floating staircases danced in midair, shifting gently underfoot. Doors responded to whispers. The library was the size of a city, with books that sometimes read you. In the gardens, trees hummed lullabies, and flowers bloomed in rhythm with the moon. Most fascinating of all was the Hall of Echoes, where portraits of legendary princesses occasionally blinked and whispered riddles to those who truly listened. Each student possessed a unique gift. Princess Naira of the Flame Isles could conjure fire with a snap of her fingers. Princess Vanya of Frostmoor could freeze time for mere seconds. Elara, however, didn't know her gift yet, and that worried her. Her classes were unusual. In dream weaving, she learned to step into dreams to soothe nightmares. In diplomagic, she debated mythical creatures on ethics. In royal combat, she fought illusions of monsters with staves and wits. But the most curious subject was ancient histories, taught by Madame Leora, a tall, pale woman with silver feathers in her hair and eyes that seemed to see through time. One day, Madame Leora spoke of the Vault of Whispers, a place deep beneath the academy, sealed long ago. "Within lies a power older than the stars," she said, voice barely a whisper. "It is locked away not because we fear it, but because we honor it. One day, a princess will be born who may open it, but she must be ready." That night, Elara couldn't sleep. She wandered the halls with her lantern, curiosity like fire in her veins. In the library, she found an old tapestry, faded but intact. It showed 5 princesses in battle, wielding strange light. Beneath their feet was a great mirror sealed with silver chains. A name was embroidered in silver thread: the First Circle. From that day forward, Elara began to search for clues. She spent nights scribbling down fragments of prophecy, ghost whispers, and puzzle phrases hidden in the murals. One ghost, a kind echoing spirit of Princess Thalina, floated near the West Tower and whispered, "When the moon's eye weeps and the starlight bends, the vault shall speak to one who mends." Elara didn't yet know what needed mending, but she felt the tug of destiny. Weeks passed. One night, while stargazing on the moonlight balcony, Elara noticed something strange. The full moon, usually glowing like a golden pearl, suddenly dimmed. Not gone, but shadowed, as if something invisible had passed before it. Then, a single beam of moonlight shot down, landing in the east courtyard. The marble tiles shimmered with runes only visible under this light. She ran there barefoot, breath fogging in the cold air. The runes whispered, "Ask the question." Her breath caught in her throat. What question? The air seemed to sigh, and then a voice, clear but soft as snowfall, filled her mind. Why are we here? The ground trembled. The stone tiles cracked, revealing a spiral staircase made of black glass and obsidian, winding deep into the earth. Lanterns lit themselves along the descent. Heart pounding, Elara stepped downward. She felt no fear, only knowing. At the bottom lay a vast cavern, humming with magic. In its center stood the Vault of Whispers. It wasn't a door, but a giant mirror, tall as a tree, framed in ancient gold and inscribed in lost languages. Elara's reflection stared back. Only her eyes were glowing silver, and her lips moved independently. "Princess Elara of Drelune," it said. "You are the blood of the first circle, the keeper of the key." "Why me?" she asked. "Because you still question, you still seek. The vault does not open to power. It opens to purpose." Suddenly, her mind filled with visions, not dreams but memories, not her own. 5 princesses standing at the edge of ruin, a war against corrupted sorcerers whose greed for eternal power had shattered the world. To save it, the princesses gave up everything, memories, magic, even their identities, sealing their wisdom in the vault, trusting that one day someone pure of heart would return to reclaim it and guide the world anew. Tears fell down Elara's cheeks. These weren't just ancient stories. They were her ancestors, and she had the power to open the vault. But then came the warning. This knowledge is dangerous. To open it is to risk temptation. You may restore what was lost, or unleash what was sealed for a reason. She looked at her reflection again. What do I have to do? Choose. Remember or forget. Restore the truth, or preserve the silence. Elara closed her eyes. She thought of her classmates, of the beauty of the academy, of the kindness of Madame Leora. She thought of the world, still fragile, still full of mistakes, but also of hope. "I choose to remember," she whispered. "But I will teach it with care. I will guide those who follow. I will not let it be forgotten again." The mirror shimmered, then cracked, not with destruction, but like an egg hatching light. The room exploded in stars, wrapping around her like a cocoon. The vault unfolded, and magic poured into her, not to grant her power, but understanding. She fainted. When she awoke, she was in the infirmary. Madame Leora sat at her side, tears in her ancient eyes. "You found it," she whispered. "You remembered. The vault is open again, and you, Elara, are now its guardian." That morning, everything changed. Elara was no longer a student, but something more. She became the keeper of truth, and with Madame Leora's blessing, she began to teach a new kind of class, one that didn't just instruct magic, but taught the value of curiosity, responsibility, and compassion. The other princesses began to grow stronger, not because of power, but because they were finally told why their gifts mattered. And every night, long after the other lanterns dimmed, Elara sat by the fire in the Hall of Echoes, telling stories, not of fairy tales, but of truth, of courage and choices, of how strength isn't always in battle, but in kindness and sacrifice. And somewhere, deep beneath the academy, the Vault of Whispers now glowed with gentle light, no longer sealed, but guarded by the right hands.